So today, we're going to be rebuilding Real Madrid. We're going to have 5 seasons to see how much of a powerhouse we can actually turn this club into. And if you do enjoy the rebuilds on this channel, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and also drop a little comment on what team you want to see rebuilt next. But let's waste no more time and let's get into it. So this is going to be the first season, and this actually has got the transfers done. Now, the reason I've chosen Real Madrid is because one main reason, really. Jude Bellingham going to Real Madrid. Obviously, they didn't win the league this year, alongside of not winning the Champions League. So I do really want to see, obviously, what we can do with them in 5 years. I know they've got a good team. I know they've got good finances. This is going to be purely a fun rebuild to see how well we can do. And we've already done the first transfer window, and Bellingham is going to be joining us alongside of a couple other players you are going to know. And that is going to be the likes of Jude Bellingham, Kim Min-jae, and also Jamal Musiala. So Bellingham coming from Borussia Dortmund for 127 million. I couldn't exactly match the price tag they paid for him in real life. We then bring in Kim Min-jae from Napoli, obviously, for 30 million pounds. Now, I did get a comment last video about clicking on some of these players and showing you sort of their stats and things like that, and just showing a bit about that player. I will be doing this for the players that you probably might not know, but for players like Bellingham, Kim Min-jae, Musiala, we know who they are, we know how good they are on the game and also in real life. So that means the team is going to be looking like this. It's going to be Courtois in goal, Carvajal, Eder Militao, Rudiger, Alaba, Tuchel, Bellingham, Musiala, Vinicius Jr., Valverde, and Rodrigo making up that last spot. Now, if you're wondering what we're doing, why haven't we got an all-and-out striker? That is because we are saving the money for potentially Kylian Mbappe, which might happen in real life, it might not, but we're saving our money in case we can make that deal sort of go over the line and make that dream become a reality. Because can you imagine a team with Mbappe and Bellingham and Vinicius all in the same team? Absolutely incredible scenes. But let's go over and actually see how we done in the first official season. Well, to be honest, guys, the first season went probably how you expected it, as we managed to not only win 1 trophy, not 2, we won 3 trophies in 1 season. The Spanish First Division, the Spanish Cup, and also the Spanish Super Cup. We scored 123 goals, only 20 conceded, and picked up the 1 red card, really showing how good this tactic is and also how good this team actually plays using it. And do you know what? We are going to look at some of the team stats to see what we dominated, and we dominated pretty much everything. I mean, we're looking at 7 things we will rank 1 in terms of the most important stuff for the game, the most shots, really good at defending as well. And just overall, a really impressive season. And the key thing, which really has impressed me personally, is the fact that we've come out and obviously become the top goal scorers, which is something to me which I didn't expect, considering we haven't got an all-and-out striker necessarily. So we are going to go on the squad and see exactly who was responsible for that. And it was going to be Vinicius Jr., obviously coming in with 28 goals, 25 for Rodrigo, Musiala with 21, 18 for Mariano, Camavinga with 18, 12 for Valverde, Modric also coming in with quite a good contribution with 10, 8 for Jude, and also 8 for Alaba. In terms of the assists, we've got 19 coming in for Vinicius, Valverde coming in with 18, 14 for Musiala, Rodrigo coming in with 14, Camavinga coming in with 10, 9 for Bellingham, and 9 for Modric. Love to see it. Loads of different assists coming in, and a really, really impressive season. And I tell you what we're going to do for a little treat for the first season. Let's go ahead and watch one of these cup finals. So we'll go ahead and watch, for example, let's have a little look. What can we look at? We will go with the Spanish Cup final here. We can see some of the results, by the way. Some really impressive results coming in here against some really good teams as well. But let's go ahead and watch that Spanish Cup final against Sevilla. Obviously, they've not got a bad team. It is a final which I would say we should be winning. Don't get me wrong, but it's always good to see that we are quite dominant in these cup finals, as it is actually going to be Sevilla who lose possession quite high up, actually. We're going to play it back into Alaba, who then passes it all the way over the top into Luka Modric. That's a great first touch and a great finish. You're on about Luka Modric. Luka Modric, one of the best first touches, obviously, in the game. Absolutely incredible to see as Vinicius picks it up and goes a little bit more centralised here. He's going to keep going alone. The gap's opened for himself, and it's a bit of a gift from Sevilla, to be fair. I must credit the wide players there for dragging the central defenders out, as it is going to be a very easy goal for him to tap in. And Alaba actually going on the penalties and slotting it into the bottom left, something which will not be happening if we do get Kylian Mbappe at any point. Militao finds himself out wide now, a very versatile fullback / centre-back. I mean, that is just absolutely incredible. Great ball into the box. Vinicius Jr. at the back stick to tap it in. They do get a goal here. Too late, though. I say too late. All of these goals actually come inside of what was the first half, as it is going to be Eric Lamela who's going to cut it back into Fernando, who hits it. It's a great finish, to be honest, quite unstoppable. But at the end of the day, nowhere near to causing us any issues in actually any form of comeback for them. And going into the next season, we have got £282 million. Yeah, £282 million. I do want to quickly say, because I did forget to mention this at the start of the video, we did release Eden Hazard and also Benzema, because obviously Benzema's gone and Hazard has sort of been paid off. So we have not got those as players if you are wondering where they have gone. So that is why we didn't really have an all-and-out striker for that first season. But with 282 million, I'm going to do my best to sign King Kylian. So let's go into that second transfer window and see what we can pull off. Well, Season 2 is packed with transfers, and I did say this was going to be a bit of a fun rebuild, and we have splashed some cash. Unfortunately, there are some players going out on the free, which didn't accept new contracts and really weren't picking up much interest from paid transfer offers. That is going to be Fran, Nacho, Luka Modric, Lucas Vasquez, and also going to be Quintelas going to Arsenal, all on the free. I wanted to keep Modric for one more year, but he was not interested. However, we do bring in Jurrien Timber from Ajax for £95 million and Kylian Mbappe from PSG for £370 million. Now, I'm going to say this right now. It is all in installments, and you can blame the game for this because you can't physically get Mbappe at a non-ridiculous price until quite a few years into the game. So the whole point of this video was to show you guys how powerful this team would be if they got Mbappe alongside of Bellingham and many other various talents. And we have done that, but it has come at a ridiculous cost. So I don't know how much money we're going to get for the rest of this transfer windows going on through the rebuild, but it was a sign I had to make because it could happen in real life, and I kind of want it to be honest. And the last signing is going to be one which wasn't going to happen, but unfortunately, Mendy didn't want to stay at the club. He finds himself going to Manchester City for £29.5 million, and we bring Alphonso Davies from Bayern Munich for £73 million. Obviously, a very good wing-back, probably better than Mendy, to be honest. 6 years younger than him as well. Absolutely fantastic, rapid, decent tackling, good determination, good flair, good off the ball, good work rate. The complete fullback you really, really want. And easily we'll get into this first team. And talking of first teams, this is going to be the new look. So we actually opt to change the deep line forward. Now we've got Kylian Mbappe, the goal scorer. We went for an advanced forward. We now consist of Courtois, Jurrien Timber, Kim Min-jae, Rudiger, Davies, Tuchel, Bellingham, Musiala, Vinicius Jr., Valverde, and Kylian Mbappe to finish off that front three. An absolutely incredible team all across the park. And the bench is even looking really, really strong now with the likes of Lunin, a player we've not even mentioned. You've got Lunin, Alaba, Rodrigo, Camavinga, Militao, Asensio, Mariano, Carvajal, Cruz, Ceballos, Odriozola, Diaz, and also obviously Jesus. And this is a team which is still in the rebuild phase. Let's not forget that. So now I am super excited to see how well we do in this second season. Well, the second season is going to be another treble-winning season, and this one probably more important because we did actually win the Champions League. So we won the Spanish League again by 6 points over Barcelona, scoring 127 league goals and only conceding 21. However, we do also win the Champions League on this occasion against Tottenham, also winning the Spanish Cup against Atletico Madrid, and unfortunately, the Spanish Super Cup away from making it a quadruple winning season. Going over to the data hub, we're going to switch up what we look at each season. It's very, very impressive. 3.34 goals per game, conceded at 0.55 and averaging over 25. That is right, 25 shots a game. This tactic really does speak volumes. And we are going to go ahead and look at the squad as well, just to see where the goals have come from. And it's going to be a bit of a weird one. It's going to be a bit of a weird one, this, and I know what's happened. The game has a habit of doing this. It's going to be Jamal Musiala coming in with 70 goals, and you guys are probably thinking, what has happened? I can put everything I own on what has happened here. I can guarantee it, as it is going to be 70 from him, and Mbappe coming in with 36. Essentially, what the game has done here is to put Mbappe on the left and Musiala up top. And obviously it's working, so we're going to keep it because Mbappe's still scoring, getting on for 40 goals from the left-hand side. 21 for Camavinga, Vinicius with 18, but there is a little bit of a drop-off, but to be honest, I am not going to complain when you've got someone like Musiala absolutely thumping in goals left, right and centre. In terms of the assists, we've got 23 for Mbappe, incredible first season. 21 for Camavinga, 21 for Vinny. Alphonso Davies, a great first season with 18. We also got Valverde with 13. Bellingham also with 8. A really impressive season. And I guarantee if we go into this schedule right now, we've got to watch some games anyway. But if we look at this Champions League final, I imagine it is going to be Musiala starting up top, as we can see right now. We are going to go ahead and watch this game against Tottenham in the Champions League final, where they found themselves 1-0 up. So quite unfortunate for them, as they do take the lead literally a couple of seconds before obviously the first half whistle does come in, as Lamar plays a great ball through to Kane. To be honest, can't really take much away from him with that goal, but clearly we have a little bit of fight and spirit in this team as we do bounce back only minutes from that second half whistle, as Militao plays it over the top. Romero with a dodgy bit of defending, and Musiala rockets it into the left-hand corner. Typical Tottenham, dodgy at the back, and obviously they bottled it completely here as we do actually grab the winner just before the 71st minute. Great bit of play through the back into Valverde, splits the back line into Vinny, into Musiala. Great link-up play in what was a very, very, very good cup final. I don't think we can deny that, as it is actually going to be David De Gea finding himself at Tottenham and Akanji. Very interesting signings there. Good signings, don't get me wrong. And why not? We're also going to watch this Spanish Cup final because it is against Atletico Madrid. Obviously, it's quite a good team. So hopefully we can see some good goals coming in here, as we are going to have some of the familiar faces, obviously at Atletico, remain in the likes of Depay and Griezmann, as Vinny plays the ball over the top into Musiala, a great flick on into Mbappe, and that little bit of trickery, that first touch, is exactly why you want players like Mbappe in your team, because he is so hard to play against. As Camavinga plays a great ball in there, good deflection from Hermoso, but unfortunately doesn't get the run of the green, as Mbappe frees two for Vinny. And honestly, the link-up play we are doing right now is absolutely incredible between Vinny into Musiala. A poor challenge there as Tuchel drives at the back line. Options everywhere. What's he going to do? He's going the line at the moment. And is this something with the match engine? Because centre-backs are allowing so much room for our players, and Tuchel takes advantage of it and absolutely thumps it into the bottom left corner in a very comfortable cup final. And we are going to quickly also go and have a look at the budget, and we have got £195 million to spend going into this next transfer window. Now, there also might be some players who might look to offload. I don't know what the contracts are looking like exactly. Yeah, we've got some. So as you can see right now, Toni Kroos is actually going to be leaving on the free, going to Frankfurt, going obviously back to Germany. Mariano going to Shakhtar as well. I'm probably going to offer Carvajal maybe one more year just so we can have him as backup. The likes of Alaba, I want to keep preferably for another season as well. We're going to renew some of these contracts, so a bit of money is going to go into doing that, obviously, but it has to be done. So let's get into what is now going to be the third season of the transfers / contract renewals and see how well we've done. Well, guys, there's no denying it. It's definitely going to be a very lively third transfer window, as we do actually see a couple more deals going over the line. We knew about Mariano. We knew about Toni Kroos. Those are going to be the only two players leaving this season. Endrick, obviously a deal that was already done before I got to the club. Super happy to have him here. Hopefully he can develop a little bit. Obviously, Mbappe is going to be the star man now. Musiala banging in goals up top. But I do want to try and get him into the team at some point. We had a bit of money to play with, guys. I'm going to be realistic. So this signing was done. So these two obviously were previous, so don't fully pay attention to the £329 million. We do, however, go and pick up Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea. Now, realistically, he was having an okay time at Chelsea, but not the best, hence why he was looking for a move. And this guy just adds to the depth of the midfield. I'm a really big fan of this guy. I think maybe in real life, especially when he first joined Chelsea, he might have been a touch overhyped a little bit, but realistically, especially in this game, he's developed so far into a really good player. Green attributes all over the shop, still only 24 years of age, and is a midfielder we can have for sort of at least 6 to 7 years. And hopefully he can just add to the depth of that team. Obviously he can play in the deeper areas and also slightly more pushed up, and really a great signing. Very expensive, but we had the money there, why not use it? And then going over to a very versatile signing, one I like to make with Real Madrid quite often. That is going to be Gvardiol from RB Leipzig for £86 million. Very interested to see what you guys think in the comments. Where do you think this man is going to end up in real life? because I am thinking possibly a Manchester City. But in this save anyway, he's going to come to Real Madrid. Again, he's a very good player. He's not the quickest player, which is why he's not necessarily always the best for a fullback role in this game. In real life, it's a lot different. Obviously, as much as Football Manager is realistic, it's not perfect. But overall, a very, very good sort of centre-half option here. Also very versatile on the left back. Unfortunately, in an ideal world, he'd be also comfortable on the right. But you know what? We can't be too picky. Again, we've done very well with the age, only 23 years of age, so we've got a player here easily for 8 to 9 years who's going to help us a lot with that back line. And hopefully, with the addition of Enzo and also Guardiol, we can just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Unfortunately for us, it's quite hard to improve what we're already doing because we are playing some incredible football and winning a lot of trophies every season. But going over to the team, this is going to be sort of the third season final product, if you so will. That's going to be Courtois, Timber, Ella Militao, Rudiger, Davies, Tuchel, Valverde, Camavinga, Mbappe, Vini, and Musiala. So as you can see, both players actually are going to be on the bench, which I kind of expect us to start with, but definitely they will get some game time because they have got the talent, they have got the ability to do so. And obviously, if we look at Enzo, he can actually cover all three of those midfield positions, which is why he is the perfect signing, in my opinion. But let's go over to that third season and hopefully carry on improving, but that's quite a big ask. Sometimes in life, you ask for big, you get big, as we have come out and we've not won one, we've not won two, we've not won three, we've not won four. We have won 5 trophies in one season, making it, I think, probably one of the best seasons I've ever played myself or ever seen in FM, as we win the Champions League against Arsenal, the Super Cup against Newcastle, the Spanish Division, the Spanish Cup, and also the Spanish Super Cup, scoring 152 league goals, conceding only 23, and picking up 0 red cards. And the first thing I've got to do is see where these goals have come from. That is going to be Musiala coming in with 61, Kylian Mbappe coming in with 55, Rodrigo coming in with 29. We're also going to have Camavinga coming in with 27, 24 for Vinicius Jr., 10 coming in for Valverde, and 9 coming in for Asensio. That is an incredible... that is an incredible season. I'm thinking I'm honestly mind blown by this. We have literally got 1, 2, 3, 4... We've got 5 players scoring 24 and above goals in the season. 2 of them scoring above 50 and 2 of them scoring above 25. That is absolutely incredible play. And then we're going to have 36 assists from Vinicius. He is really thriving under this management. Kylian Mbappe with 21, 18 for Camavinga, Bellingham with 17, 17 for Rodrigo, Valverde with 16, 14 for Musiala, Davies with 11, Tuchel with 7, Guardiol with 7. It's honestly mind-blowing. Something we do love to see, and what a team this is turning out to be. And we are going to treat ourselves, as always, and watch. We will watch the Champions League final. It's only going to be a goal, so we'll definitely throw in another game as well. But it's going to be a 1-0 win over Arsenal, and the goal does come in the 42nd minute, so quite a quiet game there. As I did see Arsenal pick up Ruben Neves, a long throw-in to Musiala, who absolutely burns Ben White, gets past him, and it's going to go alone. And to be honest, Ben White can hang his head in shame, because that is his fault, and he has cost them the Champions League final, beaten both London clubs, or 2 of the London clubs, in back-to-back Champions League finals. We're then going to go ahead and watch one of these Spanish Cup finals. Let's do this one. It is going to be against Cadiz, so realistically, this is a game we should be winning quite comfortably, and we did do so. Glad that we did put out a full-strength team, though, because that is one thing that annoys me in football. When you play such a rotated side, you're asking to get beat. As Mbappe drives it back into Valverde on the edge, a great ball into Vini, and Valverde playing such an influential role in this team, such a good player, and sometimes I think goes underappreciated in that Real Madrid team, as Mbappe feeds it through into Valverde again, into a central area, into Vini. Oh my, I'm off it. This is elegant football. Valverde always being the heart of it. Vini always in the space. And obviously there's always someone in that middle waiting for the easy tap-in. As Valverde again plays the ball over into Musiala, who's going to go alone. It's a deflected... Oh, I feel sorry for the keeper on that one. It's not an easy one. And do you know what? It's unlucky on Cadiz's part there. But this one might not be as lucky, as Mbappe finds Guardiol back into Mbappe. Still Mbappe, still Mbappe. And that is an absolute peach into the top right corner, and a very comfortable 4-0 win. And what a season, by the way. I imagine it is a lot of green. In fact, let's just have a look. We went all this time, up until this point here, until we lost a game. We only lost 3 games in the entire season, including friendlies, cups, leagues. Only 3 games we lost. And we have now got going in to this 4th season £99 million, which to be honest is more than acceptable because we've spent ridiculous amounts of money, and I might try and keep this a tame window to try and just keep up with the finances a little bit, not go too crazy. So let's go into this 4th transfer window. I don't know how we can top this, but I do want to quickly say, if you are enjoying the video, please do smash a like because I have tons of fun making the rebuilds, as you can probably tell, and I'm hoping you guys are liking watching them as well. But let's go over to this 4th transfer window and see who we can bring in. To be honest with you guys, I actually decided to sign no one because sometimes in football, when you've got a thing that's working really, really well, it's best to stick with exactly what you've got if the players are capable of doing it. And also, you know, you don't want to overcomplicate things by putting other players' positions at risk, making them even more, you know, sort of at stake for not getting guaranteed football. Part of the whole does go out on the free, though, I will like to say, obviously to Corona, a transfer I really couldn't prevent, and I would like to say I've spent all of the money sort of reinvested into the players, giving them new contracts, making sure they stay at Real Madrid. So not too much of, not hardly anything at all happening in this 4th transfer window, because obviously we had a massive transfer window pretty much in the other 3. So let's go over to this 4th season. I don't know if we're going to win 5 trophies again, but let's aim for 3. And it isn't 5, it isn't 4, but it is 3 trophies, and I think that's acceptable, because realistically, if I'm winning 5 trophies back-to-back seasons, I might need to apply for the United job in real life, because that is something different, as it is going to be a Champions League exit against Barcelona in the quarterfinals, and also runners-up in the Spanish Cup against Barcelona. It's not all doom and gloom though, as we do win the Super Cup against Atalanta, also the Spanish First Division champions, and also the Spanish Super Cup against Barcelona. We scored 134 league goals, only conceded 20, and in terms of the league table, it's still very convincing going in our favour. Still yet to fail to win the Spanish League, by the way, which is a real good accomplishment in itself, as by now Barcelona probably should be putting up a bit more of a fight, if not taken one of them league titles away from us. In terms of the actual squad, we are going to go ahead and have a little look. That is going to be 60 from Musiala. This guy is really not slowing down at any point in his career. 54 for Mbappe. Rodrigo having a great season with 26. Camavinga quite a bit more involved this season with 22 goals. 16 for Vinicius. Valverde with 7. In terms of the assists, we've got Kylian Mbappe with 33. It is actually going to be Camavinga who, in my opinion, is having just as good a season as Mbappe in terms of the average rating, surely. 30 assists and 22 goals. 20 for Vinny, Valverde with 18, 18 for Bellingham, Musiala with 14, 7 for Davies, and also 7 for Alaba. Unfortunately, we can see here on this screen, there are going to be 3 players we are not going to be able to keep for this last season. And that is going to be Alaba, who is going to be joining Tottenham Hotspur. Not a bad signing, but he is 34, and you can see their value isn't too much to worry about either. Rudiger, I didn't really want to lose him. He is 34 though. Transfer value's really in the mud as well. He's going to be going to RB Leipzig. And the last one is going to be Odriozola. Transfer value in the mud, 31 years of age. He's going to be going to Rennes. Now, a couple of other issues. We actually have got Jesus. He wants to move for a new challenge. Ceballos wants to move as well. So we have got a very, very tough 5th transfer sort of window, to be honest, because not only have we got players that want to leave, which means we might need to replace them. If we do find ourselves in that situation, we might find ourselves signing players that we didn't really think we'd have to replace, if that makes sense. So losing Alaba and Rudiger in one transfer window is absolutely brutal. And to be honest, I probably should have planned a bit about it before, because they are getting older, but hopefully we can cope with it. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I'm sure we can do it. But going over to the schedule, we are going to be looking at some very impressive results, as it is going to be a lot of green coming in again. We're going to 7-0, but we're watching this, sorry. We watched this one and this one only for this season, as it is a 7-0 win in the Super Cup against Atalanta, who aren't actually an awful side, by the way, but we have come out and made them look absolutely pathetic, as Camavinga wins the ball back from a poor clearance from Gandelem there, as Rodrigo picks it up. Great ball into Vinicius, and Lois right at the goalkeeper. Simply too much power, and you can't really hate on the keeper for that at the end of the day. It's a great strike, and nothing the keeper could do. As Davies finds Bellingham, great link-up play in between them, into Musiala, who turns, plays through to Rodrigo, and I think this is one of the best teams I've actually ever put together on paper. Partnered with this tactic, which in my opinion is one of the best ones I have made this year, and got some of the best feedback on. This is a real treat to use, and I would recommend you guys use this. As Camavinga finds another goal into the top right-hand corner, and we are absolutely mocking this team right now, as Gvardiol sprays it out wide into Davies, into Camavinga, into Musiala, who plucks it in to the bottom right-hand corner. And do you know what? One thing I'm loving to see about this sort of the way that this system works, the way that we're playing, are all the goals are coming from different sort of paths of play, you know, like sometimes it's thread back into the middle like that. Sometimes they're driven crosses. Sometimes they're sort of just running through the middle. It's a nice mixture of goals. And I love getting to watch the highlights of you guys because you can sort of see how these tactic works, what happens and what you can expect from them, as that is a delightful bit of play and an even better finish from Musiala. There's one more goal to come, and that comes in the 80th minute with a sort of a dodgy set piece, to be honest. But Bellingham does recover it out wide. He's going to cut back, drive it into the middle. Is he all going to go alone? He's going to go alone and smashes it into the top left-hand corner in a very confident 7-0 win. Well, the last transfer window, season 5 of the transfers, and yeah, there's quite a bit of drama. So we're actually going to be saying goodbye to the 3 players we mentioned, Alaba, Rudiger, and Odriozola, and we have brought in 2 new players, and we decided to bring in defenders because they are mainly the areas which we lost in. In fact, they are the areas we lost in. The first player is going to be JoshDaly from Manchester United for £56 million. To be honest, it's not developed too badly. 3.5 star, might not be first team by any means of the imagination. A little bit of Manchester United bias coming in, but he is still a very, very good player and one that I'm excited to use. And only 28, so still got a few years in him. And the next player is going to be a player we all should know by now. Bastoni had quite a good Champions League final despite the result. For £60 million from Inter Milan, 28 years of age, so quite, you know, they're not the youngest players. They're reasonably aged, but not the youngest. But I decided to back experience in this scenario. Very, very good centre-back. 16 tackling, 17 teamwork. Good jump and reach. Good fitness. Good at everything, to be honest. Just a really good option to have into this team. And it really makes the final team look quite impressive, as we actually end up with having Courtois, Timber, Militao, Gvardiol, Davies, Tuchel, Valverde, Camavinga, Mbappe, Musiala, and Vinicius, with Lunin, Kim Min-jae, Bellingham, Rodrigo Dalot, Fernandes, Ceballos, Bastoni, Asenjo, Enric, Jesus, and Brahim Diaz on the bench, with money left to spend to add if we needed to. And this team, I am super confident in going into this last season. And I could sit here and say I want to win 5 trophies. I kind of do again. But as long as we win that Spanish title to make it 5 out of 5, I'm going to be incredibly happy. It's going to be the 5th season simulated, and to be honest, it's probably our worst season yet. And do you know what? I'm not too gutted about it because we did what I wanted to do. We won the Spanish division. We won the Spanish Super Cup. Unfortunately, not the best display in the Champions League compared to what we have been doing, and also the Spanish Cup. But this is now a completed rebuild of Real Madrid. Obviously, we've completely transformed them. We've sort of that midfield replaced itself, really. Obviously, adding Bellingham into the mix, but we successfully replaced their aging issues at the back and in midfield with slightly younger and also very experienced talent. And the main thing we're going to focus on is obviously seeing what we've won, so we are going to go ahead and have a look at that. But this season, to break it down, 142 league goals, only 10 conceded. In terms of the actual league, Barcelona having quite a poor league, and one thing I want to look at is potentially having a little browse at what their team is now looking like, as it is going to be Xavi still in charge. And in terms of the tactics, it is going to be a very similar looking team. However, it's got ter Stegen, Koundé, Bijol, Christensen, Robertson, De Jong, Gavi, Kovacic, Balde, Torres, and Lewandowski. Tonali on the bench, Kesse. Okay, Leroy Sane. Yeah, it's quite a good team, so I'm surprised they've done that bad. In terms of Atletico Madrid, though, I also want to have a little look at them because they finished in second quite convincingly as well. Still got Simone, and they have now got a very interesting formation with a couple 3 regions in their team. It's going to be Gribic, Pavard, Scruz, Sanchez, Ray, Ivan, I can never say that name, Diego, Felix, Simone, and Ademi, with obviously Thiago on the bench, Morata, Callum Doyle, Lorente, Memphis, Jimenez, Koke, some players down here as well, actually. Rodrigo De Paul, Frimpong out on loan, Barrios out on loan. They've got a very interesting team, but obviously a decent team to do as well as what they've done. In terms of the squad, though, for us, we are going to go and have a little look, should I say. Here we go. So let's have a little browse by the goals. Oh, I've done that wrong. 64 from Musiala. This guy has not slowed up at all in terms of his Real Madrid career. 46 coming in for Mbappe. Rodrigo with 21. 16 for Vini. Camavinga with 15. 9 for Valverde. And 5 for Endrick, who finally gets a shot in this team. In In terms of the assists, we've got 38 for Kylian, we've got 22 for Vinicius Jr., Camavinga with 16, 13 for Musiala, 11 for Bellingham, Rodrigo with 11, and also 10 for Davies. And that is going to be a fantastic last season in terms of goals and assists. And the team which we've left them with, by the way, is absolutely incredible. Let's filter it by the best 11 for one last time. And it is going to be what it is on paper. So Courtois, Timber, Militao, Gvardiol, Davies, Tuchel, Valverde, Camavinga, Mbappe, Musiala, and Vinny, leaving them with an incredible bench as well. And also £75 million to strengthen if they needed to. But more importantly, what have we actually done since being at this club? Let's go and have a little look. So you can have a little look at what we've won pretty much since we've been here. And we have had a very rich history at this club. I mean, we have won practically everything. I believe this first one I was using the sorted out SI database, sorry. So I think this was already one for us, but obviously in the first season, I mean, this has just been dominant. I mean, Spanish Super Cup, Club World Cup winners as well in the first season. The following season, Spanish Super Cup winners, Spanish Cup winners, Spanish First Division winners as well. The 2025 season was obviously the miracle season coming in. The Spanish Cup, Spanish First Division, Champions League, Super Cup winners. 2026 season, again, Spanish Super Cup, Spanish First Division, UEFA Champions League, Super Cup winners. That probably, I mean, that is literally the 1, 2, 3. That is the 5 winning season, which is probably going to go down in history, to be honest. 2027 season, still successful. Spanish Super Cup, Spanish First Division as well. And the last season, obviously, being the league title winners and the Spanish Super Cup winners. That is going to be one of the best rebuilds I've ever done in terms of trophies won. And it is quite fun rebuilding a team like Real Madrid. Although they've got a lot of talent, a lot of money as well, you still need to pick the right signings and go out and win the games. And we've done that using this fantastic tactic, which you can find on my channel, which is going to be Carlos 433. It is slightly tweaked, so feel free to copy it from this one. And if you want any help in the comments to adjust it for your needs, let me know as well. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do leave a like, drop a little subscription on the channel. We're at 10k. We're getting on for 10.1 already. You guys are absolutely killing it. Definitely hit a subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video, which is going to be on Wednesday for the Ultimate 4231 V3.